Now to the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. Israeli military leaders say troops have now encircled Gaza City. Earlier Sunday, warplanes struck 2 refugee camps. Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry says nearly 10,000 Palestinians have been killed in the war. Israel says it will press on with its offensive to target Hamas despite appeals from the U.S. for a pause to get more aid to civilians.
Well, now to a live report from the region.
CBS's Doug Williams is covering the conflict for us from Tel Aviv, Israel. Doug, you and your crew arrived there just yesterday. What's your impression been on the ground?
Chris and Mary, good morning. Good to be with you. It's fascinating here. We had heard upon arriving that the population of Israel, according to some reports, has actually increased since the war began. Now, a lot of that may be because of volunteers in the military, but we were told, and I've been told by several locals, that though it is quiet here in Tel Aviv, people are home, just not necessarily out. And last night, our crew went to dinner in North Tel Aviv, and 2 barrages of missiles and Hamas rockets happened during that time. And this is coming after it had been, we were told, a quiet weekend. So Sunday night, you hear the air raid sirens while you're in Tel Aviv. And that was really interesting to watch because you're with locals here in Tel Aviv, and it's jarring, and you make your way to shelter. Everyone seems to know where to go. You follow them. In this case, when we were at dinner, we went into a parking garage. So you follow the group, and people are walking fast or running, but you also get a sense that it's the new normal. People stand there, they wait for the sirens to stop. Once they do, they go back to what they were doing.
Doug, you've been talking with residents, as you mentioned. Have they discussed it? Are things any different now than, let's say, in weeks prior? We're a month into this conflict.
Yeah, coming up on a month tomorrow, Chris. And yes, we were told, as I mentioned, that it had been a few days of no air raid sirens here in downtown Tel Aviv. And when last night happened, those 2 barrages, it was surprising and jarring just because of that, though, as I said, the locals here are so used to it at this point. Hamas does not have the supply of rockets that Hezbollah does. They do have a limited quantity, but they are firing whatever they can towards Tel Aviv, even knowing that the Iron Dome, which intercepted the rockets that were fired last night and intercepts what's believed to be about 95% of the rockets that Hamas fires, and they are playing what I've been told is a numbers game, firing whatever they can, hoping that something breaks through. And at times, the Iron Dome does malfunction, as it did last night in central Israel. A rocket fell and caused damage there. So they are trying to fire whatever they can, even with a limited supply, and hoping that they're able to do damage in Israel, despite the fact that the Iron Dome missile defense system works at about a 95% clip.
And the U.S. military announcing the presence of an Ohio-class submarine in the Middle East. Why is that noteworthy here?
Mary, it's noteworthy not just based on the fact that it's here. The U.S. military, very often where there are aircraft carriers, there are submarines. That's standard operating procedure, and I think any military expert would have probably predicted that submarines were already there accompanying those 2 aircraft carriers that are here in the Middle East in the American military. However, what is more interesting is the very public sort of announcement that was made by Central Command. And whether that means, the question is that a message of support, of continued support for the U.S. ally of Israel, in saying that in addition to those carriers, we have this Ohio-class sub, which is a hugely complex military operation in and of itself. But the violence that we've seen on the Lebanese border as Hezbollah starts to simmer as part of this conflict may have to do with the timing of that announcement.
And Doug, before we let you go, what is the Israeli Defense Force saying about the ground operation right now? We've talked about Gaza City being basically encircled at this point, but are they discussing any type of success that they're having against Hamas?
Yeah, you guys mentioned Gaza City, and you mentioned those refugee camps. Just some details that we were told overnight by the IDF, that they took control, is the words they used, of a military compound in the Gaza Strip. That means observation posts. That means what they say were training areas, underground tunnels as well. We've heard so much about how Hamas has been using those underground tunnels to attack the IDF soldiers since this ground incursion began. They say over the last 24 hours, fighter jets, which we actually saw fly by us here in Tel Aviv in the early evening hours yesterday, struck over 450 Hamas targets. The reports of civilian casualties in Gaza continue, but one note that the IDF has been continuing to put out there is that Hamas uses sort of the civilians as what they call sort of a shield, a human shield. So hospitals, aid stations, things like that are oftentimes, the IDF is saying, where the Hamas militants are. So it's a tricky balance in terms of where they decide to strike. But again, the civilian casualties in Gaza, those numbers continue to build up more and more.
CBS News' Doug Williams reporting live from Israel. Doug, thank you.
Thanks, Chris and Mary.
And Doug will be reporting live from Tel Aviv in the coming days to give us the latest on the war between Israel and Hamas.